Hey guys! Today I'm going to talk about my top 10 favorite anime. This isn't really in a specific order. This is just 10 out of some of the anime that I really like. And so at number 10, there's The Devil is a Part-Timer. It's a really good comedy slash action kinda slice of life. And so if anybody hasn't seen this anime, it's basically about Satan, or how he's known in Japan as Mao, and how he ends up in modern Earth. And so in order to return back to his realm in Ente Isla, he starts trying to gather information in order to regain his magic. And so he believes that the way to conquer Earth is to start conquering fast food places. And so he begins to work at McDonald's. And it's one of those, like, you have to watch to understand. It's a really good one. And so at number 9, we have Fruits Basket. This is a really good one that originally aired back in 2001, but then a 2019 version was made, and the first season came out in 2019. Then they aired a second season last year, and then this year is the final season. And so basically the plot is of this girl named Toru Honda, and how she lost her mother in an accident. And so she is supposed to go live with a relative, but because the relatives are having renovations at their home and she doesn't want to be a burden, she thinks it'll be fine living in a tent until a classmate named Yuki Soma finds her and then asks his cousin, if I'm remembering correctly, Shigure Soma, if they can take her in and start living with them. Like, he agrees, and then they start living all together. But then shortly, she finds out that they all have a curse to do with the zodiac animals. And so if their bodies become weak, or if they're hugged by the opposite sex, then they turn into their respective zodiac animals, like the rat, dog, cat, bear, boar, tiger. You get it. My memory is a bit not so well, trying to remember all of the animals right in the zodiacs. But it's a really good romance slash drama, and there's a bit of comedy. There's also a lot of dark moments and tragedy, because this version is adapting the manga more than what the 2001 version did. But it's still really good. Then at number 8, we have Digimon. I'm pretty sure a lot of people who even don't watch anime know about this. It was airing at the same time that Pokemon did. And basically it's this group of kids, while they're at summer camp, get whisked away to this other world and then learn that they have these Digimon partners known as digital monsters, which are monsters that digivolve in order to fight and protect them. And I find out that they're these chosen children that are fated with saving that world and later on their own. It's part of my childhood, so it's a really beloved anime. And so then at number 7, there's Clanad. It's a very good romance anime. It has 2 seasons. There's Clanad and Clanad After Story. And it's more school life for the first season. Basically just the first season entails more of the main characters, Nagisa and Tomoya, getting to know each other and then developing their relationship and eventually dating. And then the second season, it's more like them and their friends after high school and like what happens with their lives going on. And I would explain more, but then I go into spoiler territory. And I think it's best if people just watch it because it's a really good anime, and the ending of the second season is going to have you in tears, I guarantee. Then at number 6, we have... Oh god, wait, where did my list go? Oh no, okay. At number 6, we have Kekkaichi. Oh god. Kekkaichi is basically about these two, a boy and a girl, known as Yoshimori Sumimura and Tokine Yukimura, and how they're the chosen protectors of the site known as Karasumori, and they're known as the Kekkaichi. They have these strange powers that allow them to fight these monsters that only come out as night, known as Ayakashi. And it's a really fun action anime. If you really like shonen and ones where the protagonist is like really strong and has a lot of talent, but then even as the story progresses, they get even more stronger, and there's a lot of fighting involved, then if you have never watched Kekkaichi, you should definitely give it a try. Then at number 5, we have Bakugan, another one of my childhood favorites. I watched it as a kid. And Bakugan is basically a show about how these monsters who turn into these like spherical, like these sort of balls, when they end up on Earth. And so a bunch of children just end up randomly finding them, because these like balls end up landing with cards, and they decide to create this whole game revolving around them where they will create this field in like this other dimension that they open with the cards, and then they'll throw the cards into the ground, and when they throw the Bakugan towards the cards in that dimension, they transform into their into the actual forms. And it isn't until one day the protagonist Dan Kuso finds a Bakugan that can talk, and then he is told that there is a much greater threat, and he ends up, along with his friends that also end up getting talking Bakugans, they have to eventually like save their world along with the Bakugan's world known as New Destroya. There's a reboot of it, but I don't recommend it. I recommend you should just watch the old one, which has 4 seasons in total. I have no idea where you could watch the Japanese version of it. Oh, by the way, all these anime that I'm mentioning have English dubs to them as well as English subs, if anybody was curious. But for Bakugan, I don't know if the English sub exists or if it's out there where you can find it. And as far as I know, the Japanese version with subtitles only has until season 3, while the English dub has 4 seasons, like has all the 4 seasons. And I think until now you can only find the English dub, but that's what I remember, guys. Oh God, I keep losing my list. No! Okay, guys. I have a list because I want to remember the order that I put them in, but I keep swiping around and just missing it. Where's my list? What the hell? Where did my list go?
Voiceover on. Body. Edit. Button. Canvas. Reader mode on.
Okay.
Alert. Selected. Voiceover off.
Okay, there we go. I found my list. Yay! Joker found their list. Okay. Okay, already set number 5. Number 4, we have Free, and that's the swimming anime, which a lot of people know it by its first season, Free Iwatobi Swim Club. It's kind of a swimming anime. Mostly revolves around these characters named Haruka Nanase, Makoto Tachibana, Nagisa Hosuki, Rei Ryugazaki, and Rin Matsuoka, and how there's a beef between Rin and Haru because of some things that happened when they were a bit younger, and Nagisa, Haru, and Makoto form a swim club that later they end up recruiting Rei into it. And as they start doing relays again, they hope that things can be patched up with Rin and that they get all swim together once more. And I think some of you guys, if you catch Blind Toes live stream, you saw us talking about it when we mentioned fan service. So I mean, if you like just seeing guys taking their shirts off and just being shirtless, or seeing Haru strip anytime he sees water, then I think you will enjoy this one. I really like it. Then then at number 3 we have Horimiya. Oh, this is a really good romance one. Basically, it's with the characters Kyoko Hori and Izumi Miramuya. Wait, Izumi Miyamura. There we go. Sorry, I kind of butchered it at the beginning a bit. And how they both come to misunderstand the personas that they show to their classmates in class. Is one day Miyamura comes to learn that, unlike at school where Hori is really, I guess, put together, wearing a lot of makeup and having her hair done, at home she barely wears any makeup and like has hair tied up most of the time, and is constantly more worried about doing chores and taking care of her younger brother, while as Miyamura in school always has his hair covering most of his face, wearing glasses, and always wearing like heavy clothing. When then outside of school, he doesn't cover his face much with his hair and lets out to show that he has a lot of piercings, and it's mainly like it revolves around like their romance, and it's actually really cute. It's one of those short ones. If you're into romance anime, I really recommend you should watch it. And then at number 2, we have Code Geass. Well, the full title is sorry about that, guys. Okay. So the full title is Code Geass, Lelouch of the Rebellion. And basically it's about how the protagonist, Lelouch Lamperouge, actually known as Lelouch B. Britannia, is a prince of the Britannian Empire. And he ends up being banished by his father, the king, to Japan. And they're exiled for reasons that I can't give because like it spoils it. So he gets banished to Japan with his sister for reasons. And then shortly after being in Japan and meeting his childhood friend Suzaku Kururugi, Japan gets taken over by Britannia because they utilize these weapons known as nightmares, which are basically giant robots. And they take over the country and they rename it to Area 11. Years later, Lelouch, because of some circumstances, ends up meeting this girl known as C2 that ends up gifting him the power of Geass, in return for him granting her one wish. And this gives him the power to, when he looks straight into people's eyes, being able to give them any command. And at least when he gives them that one command, they have no choice but to obey him. And so he begins his crusade to take revenge upon his father and destroy the Britannian Empire, while having to unbeknownstly fight his childhood friend Suzaku, because Suzaku believes that in order to change the cruelty of the Britannic Empire, then they should change it from the inside. Oh my god, sorry. They should change it from the inside, while as Lelouch doesn't have the same view. And it's very interesting because even though they both have the same goal, they have very different viewpoints and methods on how to achieve that goal. And it's really good. I highly recommend you watch it, especially if you are a fan of Death Note, because even though, yes, there's a lot of giant robot fights and there's mecha involved, even when they're having these like giant robots fights, there's a lot of strategy involved, and Lelouch's actual strength is his intellect and like his ability to be able to like really think in his feet and like come up with like these like brilliant plans, as opposed to Suzaku, whose like strength is more like his fighting ability and willpower. And then lastly, at number 1, we have Blue Exorcist. Oh, yes, I love Blue Exorcist. Basically, it's about this boy named Rin Okumura, who one day ends up finding out that he is the son of Satan, born from a human mother. And so the proof that he is Satan's son is these blue flames that he controls, that he is able to call forth once he unleashes the sword known as Kurikara. And he ends up going to a school known as True Cross Academy, which teaches young people how to become exorcists in order to fight the demons. And so Rin goes to the school to learn to become an exorcist, as he makes a vow to kill Satan himself. And yeah, that's basically my list. Sorry for the few moments where there was a bit of some interruptions and I didn't continue saying the list because I kept losing the order of where I had my list. Yeah, I know, just blind moments. And I was also trying to give some good summaries while not trying to give away a lot of important plot points or spoilers that I think are much enjoyable if you just go and watch the animes. And I really hope you enjoyed the video. So it'd be great if you could like, comment, and subscribe. And another blind moment. Great.